I'm going to be working on solving this issue. To start, I'm going to make a huge mess here in the next couple of seconds. Well, that seemed to have worked. I put a little bit of PB blaster down in the cylinder, filled it all the way up, and that seems to have not done anything. And let's go ahead and replace that PB blaster with a little Marvel mystery oil. When I bought the bike, the guy said that the Kickstarter had something goofy going on with it when the engine was running, so I don't know, maybe the Kickstarter is just not turning the engine over. Ooh. Okay, so there is. That means it's probably got a blown out crank seal. Something's screaming to me that there shouldn't be oil in here, and I just Googled it. Apparently that's normal. So for all you two-stroke guys that decide to get into a four-stroke, know that there's gonna be oil in there. That was shocking. No, she's stuck. Okay, so that's not a good look with all that like dirt buildup and rust in this carburetor. It's also in the intake boot. I think I'm gonna take the intake boot off and see what's going on in there. Okay, yeah, we're not looking very good there. I can see the top of the valve. I'll probably insert a picture if I can get my phone in there a little bit better. But that's not a good look. I have a feeling that's the reason this engine's stuck. I don't know if it's the piston, because the piston really didn't look that bad. But that looks pretty bad. Okay, well, morale is really low again. After seeing that valve, that's not gonna be good, I can promise you that. It's covered in mystery oil now, and that is, I'm leaving it in the hands of the oil. The motorcycle gods will hopefully revive this engine just enough for me to run it. So I let the Marvel mystery oil sit in there overnight. Still hasn't done anything to free up the cylinder. I don't know if it's the cylinder or if it's the valve being rusted shut. I have a feeling it's the valve being rusted shut. But I'm gonna give the top of this valve a couple of taps just to see if I can get it to move that rust around. Well, this is not me giving up, but this is me giving up on the motor in the bike because I think this needs to be disassembled a little bit more. I've had it soaking in 2 different oils now for over a week, and I'm getting absolutely zero movement whatsoever. This might be the other reason why it's not turning over. Yeah, that's completely jammed up. Oh, that was my finger. Yeah, that felt really good. There it is. Woo. Here's a closer look of that valve, the exhaust valve. As you can see, there's like buildup in it. I don't know what that's from, but I know it's not good. So here are 2 of the engines up on the bench. Obviously this one's missing some components off of it, like the side cover's not on it, nor is the front sprocket, which I don't actually know why. But I'm gonna go ahead and take this carburetor apart. See guys, this is the exact reason why you don't leave fuel in your carburetor or in your gas tank. Like this top main jet is just completely crusted over. Now I gotta let this sit in acetone for like ever. Motorcycles actually came with a few different sprockets. There's a 12, there's a 13, a 15, and a 16. I think the 14 is probably on this engine, but I'm not 100% certain. But it's cool that it came with all these options. I will say I'm probably gonna let this drain overnight just so I can hopefully get everything out of it, possibly. Because I know that this engine probably has not been taken care of. I'm gonna let that drain for a long time because it's ice cold, so it's not gonna move very quickly. And I wanna make sure I get everything out of this engine. And next thing up on the list is a vinegar bath for the gas tank. I'm not gonna be putting any metal chunks in there, so I'm not gonna take the petcock off because it's not too bad. In all honesty, I probably could just fill it up with fuel, but I'm gonna be on the safe side and go ahead and dunk it. And as you can see, it's literally just barely moving through the funnel. It's pretty cold. I don't really like the way that the spark plug is kind of going in and out. It just seems like there's way more resistance on it than there should be. So I'm gonna add a touch of anti-seize to the end of the plug just to hopefully relieve some of that resistance. I ended up selling the taillight assembly off of this bike because this one was kind of rough, and this one's actually in really good condition. It's missing the screw to hold it in, but it is pretty much complete and in perfect uncracked condition, at least as of now. We'll see once I take it off, but it looks pretty darn good to me. So I'm going to slap that one from there to there. Looks like I need to rewire in the blinkers as well, but I'll get to that eventually. I want to hear the bike run. So I've got the jet sitting over here. These things have been sitting in acetone for a while, and it looks like the acetone is a different color now, so I'm hoping that it removed that old varnished gas. Got it all cleaned and rebuilt back to factory specifications. I'm sure I'll have to adjust the idle jet, but gonna throw the float wheel on and get it back in the bike. I got my choke down here all assembled on the carburetor, but up here where the choke pole is, this doesn't come out. I know the cable's moving, but up here is not, so I'm gonna probably have to disassemble this and figure out what is happening with it. Appears to be moving now, but not very well. This is why you don't leave motorcycles outside though. Prime example right here. Okay, well that was probably the hardest part of this whole project so far, is just getting this boot in the intake housing. That took a serious amount of time. I actually pulled the whole intake housing out and then put it back in and took it out and put it back in, and it just didn't want to fit. So I'm not gonna make the same mistake I did last time. So I let gas tanks sit for a while with vinegar in them, and it usually turns out pretty good. As you can see, that's pretty clean. Deep down inside of there is also really clean. The mistake that I've been making is not neutralizing the vinegar. You are supposed to do a baking soda rinse with water inside after you do the vinegar, so then you don't get flash rusting. Key is on. Engine run stop is on. Let's see what happens here. I'm not in gear. How many kicks do you guys think it's gonna take? The first like 3 don't count because I'm just spinning the engine over. All right. Three, or 2. Ooh. too much choke. All right. What was that, like 5 kicks, 10 kicks? Who knows? That sounded good. Oh, there's a mirror. Oh, that hurt. Who's putting these mirrors there? There we go. I turned the idle screw in just a hair and then pulled the choke all the way out, and so far it's just running on its own now. Oh, there it goes. Alright guys, yeah, it doesn't really want to idle and run because there's no air filter in it, so I think it's getting way too much air, so it's running really lean, so I'm not going to keep pushing the bike just to get it to rev and idle, but I'm going to leave it here because I ordered an air filter that'll go around this cage, and I will hopefully be able to tune it a little bit better. Anyways guys, if you liked the video and you want to see more of this Honda, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I will see you in the next one.